What's going on? We got a massive leaf cleanup to do today. Absolutely insane.
Gigantic.
Let's go take a look, come up with a game plan. We got all this, and the homeowner doesn't want the leaves just blown along the woods line because he says it builds up and looks bad. So he wants it strategically brought into the gullies on the property. So we have to get all these leaves into certain spots. Say about half the trees have completed full abscission. Massive. I don't know how we're gonna do this, but we're gonna problem solve and get it done with what we got. I'll show you what kind of plan we come up with. This is the one gully that we're allowed to drop everything down into. There's even a ramp. That goes down right here. So we'll bring a lot of the debris right down. All right, we're gonna start with the front of the house first. Whoa. And
Had a nice trip. See you next fall.
Dad jokes. We're gonna section it off into 3 parts and see how that works. We've got 2 Echo backpack blowers, PB8010 and a PB9010. Hustler X1 with a bagging system on it, a Raptor SD Hustler, and 2 big tarps and rakes. So that's all the equipment we have to work with. Sometimes you just gotta work with what you got, problem solve, make it happen. Let's do this. And these leaves are just super wet and heavy. They're just packed down. Makes it challenging to move. Of course, right? Gotta love it. I'm gonna open up a little spot for us to more easily push the leaves through so they don't get caught up on the woods line. So we're gonna come up and right through here. Created opening number 1 here, opening number 2 here. We've got phase 1, 2, and some of phase 3 done. We're gonna take lunch, but show you what we got done so far. this was all caked with leaves. It's so much thicker than it looks too, and wet. But so far we got all this done. It helps opening up sections into the gully with the weed whacker, trimming back all the thistle and sticks and stuff, that way you have a nice clear shot down into the gully. So that's what we've been doing, just making little openings as we go. He didn't want anything blown along this tree line between him and this other house, the neighbor. He doesn't want anything blown this whole way up because he doesn't like what it looks like, so we had to take everything and go this way into the gully. Once we get up to the upper section of the house, I'll show you what our game plan is for up there. This is where I busted out the X1 with the bagger system, thinking, okay, this will go quicker. You know, I can run over these leaves, mulch them up, throw them in the bagger, make a bunch of trips. But I did 2 passes along the front, and then I cut through the back, and I was realizing it was just so much thicker than I thought. And so I did a couple passes, and then I stop. You can see me stop here soon, and I take a look, and I was completely full, and the hopper, the tube, the chute was clogged all the way down into the impeller. So I had to take that all out and unclog it. So that was just a mess. It wasn't working out, and we had all this yet to go. Back here, this is a little ramp, but this is the rest. This is the upper part of the property, and we're just looking at it going, oh my gosh, we might not even be halfway done, and we had already been here at the property
with
for
the walk
4
behind
hours,
blowers
half of the
and
day.
the ride on blowers,
And we were just exhausted already at that point, just running backpack blowers going up and down these hills, and then looking at the rest that we had to do. We were definitely overwhelmed, and I was starting to experience a lot of doubt at this point. Like, I didn't quote this correctly. This is just, it's too much work for me and where I'm at in the business. I don't have the right equipment. Just a lot of doubt just started flooding my mind, a lot of fear of failure. And, but I was able to take those thoughts captive and exercise some mental toughness and stick with it, come up with a game plan, and just get it done no matter how tired I was and just feeling like this is just too much work. So we got it done. I quoted this entire cleanup for $900 with 4 visits, and this was the first visit, and I will say that I waited a little too long to get out here for the first visit. We're getting there. We made this line of dense leaves that are far enough from any entry point that it's worth tarping, and we're gonna tow it with the mower and bring it over to one of the nearest access points into the woods and get it into the gully. This towing method works pretty well. It's definitely labor intensive, don't get me wrong, but it moves a lot of leaves quicker than 2 backpack blowers can do across a long span. So because we had to move these leaves so far, because of the homeowner's wants and expectations of just having the leaves going into a certain part on the property, it was worth tarping them. And like I said, it's a lot of work because you have to set out the tarp, then you have to rake all the leaves onto the tarp, tow it with the mower, drag it into the woods, and dump it all by hand. And when you have to do this 15 times, 20 times even, you know, you're exhausted. It's very labor intensive. It's not the best way to move leaves, but it's the only thing I had.
So we got the bulk of it up that way, and then with whatever little bit was left, we decided, okay, now we can go over this with the mowers. And the Raptor can mulch everything up, and the Hustler with the X1 with the bagger system can suck up the finer stuff and just get some of this stuff off the lawn. We were both just wiped out and exhausted at this point, but there was still quite a lot to go. And that brings me back to what I was saying before. I quoted this whole cleanup for $900. This was the first visit, and it definitely took the longest. Two of us, we were there all day, busting our butts to get this done. We have done another visit since then. It wasn't nearly as much work, but it was still, I think, a 5-hour or 6-hour day with two guys. But there were less leaves. Most of the trees had finished their abscission. I'm hoping that visit 3 and 4 go a lot quicker. But either way, what do you think this job is worth? I charge $900 for 4 visits. Let me know what you think in the comments. Thanks.